everybody. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Bree.
And I'm Evan.
And this is Reality Check TV. Here's where we discuss some of our favorite reality shows to watch together as a couple. So if you love reality TV like we do, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you can get notified anytime we post a new review.
Of course.
What's up, everybody? I hope that you are having a great week. Ours has been very interesting. We've had some interesting last few weeks, so we're still riding that wave, but we are here. We are ready to talk about Ready to Love, the season finale. Thank God it's over. I feel like it was prolonged for no reason, but anyways, we are here. I feel like this is going to be a super short review because it wasn't much that happened in this episode. It was just mainly their decision. So we're going to give our opinion on that. And I feel like we'll save like a lot of our commentary for the 2-part reunion that is premiering this Friday. So make sure to catch our next review on that. I want to say we might just do the 2 reunions together. I don't know. We'll pray on it. We'll see how we feel, if it makes sense to do the 2 together. If they give us enough content for the first part, then we'll separate the videos. But if not, do not be super shocked if you do not get a part 1, I guess, next week. Well, that means that we're going to save it for the following week. So we'll see how that works out. But for right now, let's just talk about this finale. Okay, you ready?
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about these strange couples.
All right. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So we are down to 3 couples. 3 couples is how we ended the show, and we're going to talk about that. I want to first start off with Janelle and Q. Let's get them out the way because there's really not much to say. We all knew that this was going to be the decision. I felt like they chose each other weeks prior. And we're just here. They decided that they are going to be a couple. Are we excited?
It's not promising.
Are you excited about it?
This is not promising because, folks, I just don't understand Quentin's logic. Because how do you get all the way to the end and then have an issue with her age? When you knew this when you met her, you know, she told you, I believe she was 41, 42. You're about 33. You have a problem at the end now with her age when you've been up under each other's ass the whole season.
Pretty much.
Where did that come from?
Pretty much.
And I understand, too, the whole thing about they have a discrepancy about when it comes to kids. You know, Quentin wants his own blood child. Janelle, being somebody who was adopted, she wants to adopt. And I don't feel... It's one of those things where you said a couple days ago about there's certain things that you should not have to bend on because you will resent the other person down the road.
And family's one of those things.
And the thing for you guys to kind of not be on the same page with kids, you know, that's something that's still going to show its head. It's never not going to show its head. Because I believe in the season, Janelle talked about her rush to take it to that next step. You know, she's ready to start a family. But you guys have a difference in how to start the family, though.
So this week, they had one more challenge, I guess, before we wrap this ish up. And that is the guys are going to meet the family members of the ladies. And so Q had the chance to meet Janelle's cousin, I believe. And the cousin seemed to like Q overall, but the age thing came up, and that seems to be a big concern. Like, Janelle and her cousin was laughing when Q was like, he wants 3 kids. They was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. She said nope, that's gonna be a hard no for her. And you know, we can play this game if we want to, but like Evan said, I'm just a firm believer that there are certain things in relationships, like actual serious relationships, that I don't think that they are negotiable. And when it comes to family, that's just one of those things. So if you have one person that's like, I don't really want to have kids, and then another person that's like, they really want children, it's never going to work. Like, that's just, I just don't see it being a thing. Do I believe that people are entitled to change their minds? I've actually know plenty of women that at one point they were like, they don't want to have kids. And then as they got a little bit older, they're like, now I really want to have kids. I have my feelings on that too for another video, another time. But I think for the most part, when you're their age, specifically Janelle, she's in her 40s. I feel like she says what she means and means what she says. So if she's saying, I don't want to have 3 kids, and like I might be able to give you 1.5, then I feel like you really need to take it for what she's saying. And that should have been nipped in the bud at the very beginning. But I guess it wasn't that big of an issue for him because he still decided to pursue her and asked her to be his girlfriend, I guess. Because I guess that's how they end the show.
I don't know. I think another thing, too, that I just think it's funny how at the end he kind of has more questions coming out because he did ask her a couple episodes ago. I believe they're out at dinner. He asked her about her conflict resolution. And I guess he asked that because we've seen numerous times throughout the season, you know, Janelle get into with other cast members. So I don't know if that was a concern of Quentin's, but, you know, I guess, like I said, for him to go through with it, I guess he was fine with it.
I mean, he confirmed the only concern that he had was the kid thing. Age. The age thing was the thing. And so, you know, whatever. Y'all figure it out. I said it before. I think we got Q and Janelle, right? We predicted that they were going to choose each other. But what we did say is that we don't know how it would end up at the reunion.
Right.
I think that they're probably still together or fooling around. Is it going to be long lasting? No, I don't believe that. I just don't. Q is in his early 30s. Like, no. I don't feel like the sacrifice of not having kids is something that it's not a decision that I feel like he should even make right now, to be quite honest. He's too young. And to be even more real about it, men are not the ones that, you know, are going up against this whole time clock. Like, they're not having to deal with what we go through as women, where, you know, once we get to a certain age, it gets harder and harder to have kids. And then to a certain extent, once we hit a certain age group, we can't have children, or a certain period of our lives, we can't have kids. It's not the same way with men. Men can have kids until they are no longer on earth, and that's just what it is. So at any point he can change his mind.
No, he can. Yeah, he certainly can.
All right, so the next couple is Morier and Jessica. So they ended up choosing each other at the end. And I felt a few ways about it, right? Like, all season, majority of the season, I would say, Jessica and Morier were my 2 favorite people out of this season, out of everybody. Not saying that they perfect, but they were miles ahead of everybody else for me. However, as we kind of got down to the nitty gritty, I started to notice just a few things. And one of those things is with Jessica. She's very closed off. I appreciate the way that she handled the whole foolishness with Chris and the whole, you know, combative craziness that happened. I appreciate how she handled that. But I do think that there was an opportunity kind of missed when it came to really building the connection with Morier, of just letting her just being loose. I'm not gonna say guard down, right? Because I'm a type of woman where I'm like, when you're in this dating process, keep your guard up, keep it up, but let loose. It seemed like Jessica just was at this place where she was just very, like, a little stiff for me, just a little bit. I saw peaks of her humor. So anytime that she did get with Morier and they were talking, I saw their humor. But I didn't know she was able to really fully, like, relax. I will say that this very last episode, I did see a side of her with trying to peek out just a little bit and show how willing she is to experience something new, because I do think that Morier as a person and everything that he represents in his life is something new for her. So I did appreciate that, but I still feel like there's something that is holding Jessica back.
I felt it was the fact that I honestly feel like, and this is gonna be maybe a take a lot of people don't have. I truly felt like if Chris did not blow up or be the way he is, I really felt like Jessica liked Chris, but she just got turned off by what was coming out of his mouth. About how he views gender roles,
right?
How he says a woman should be,
right?
Vocally, communication wise. I felt like when she took him lunch to his job,
right.
I kind of felt like she kind of put that down a little bit, and kind of was trying to show this is me. This is how I show appreciation.
Right.
You know, this is a surprise. I kind of felt like that was her moment this season. And Chris ruined it. I felt like he's the one that had her put her wall back up.
Right.
Because it's like she kind of opened up a little bit and did something nice for you.
Right.
And, you know, what came out your mouth just turned her completely off.
And we didn't see that moment, to me. We didn't see that moment for real with Morier.
And, you know, so I truly felt like all season Chris was her number one at the end of the day. I really felt like she liked Chris. And I felt like I felt like I saw a different Jessica with Chris than with Morier.
At one point.
But I look at Morier as, that was her number two, like, you know, nice soul. But I just truly feel like she's giving it a chance to see if the friendship grows past a friendship. Because let's be real, folks. When have you seen them all season do any type of PDA?
Wasn't it her that said that she's not into PDA?
She's not, but it was the fact that even Morier didn't even try.
Not just that. I mean, I definitely think that it was maybe a conversation had off camera with just like her comfort level. And I thought about that after we watched the finale, because, you know, I was really like annoyed at the fact that once they chose each other, that they didn't even kiss. Like, he kissed her on the forehead, and like it was just it was giving homie vibes, and I was very critical about that. But then after really sitting on it for a while, I was just kind of like, maybe there was some type of conversation about her comfort level, hopefully. But if not, I still just feel like they are really good friends. I'm not seeing
there's nothing romantic
attraction, the romantic attraction that I want to see. I want Jessica and Morier to be together, but we're viewers. We don't know these people personally, so it ain't our business. And we're not about to dictate what people decide to do with their lives. So even though I would want that, I'm like, nothing needs to be forced. But I would love for them to have this connection, this romantic connection. And I just wasn't really getting that, y'all. I'm gonna have to be honest. So it just didn't make their relationship real enough for me. And I really don't want to believe that Morier and Jessica were the fake and the fraudulent. I don't want to believe that.
Well, no, I mean, I feel like Morier, he's really into her, but I feel like she's still on the fence because she's trying to figure that out with him. Because how I felt like, I mean, put it this way, as I told y'all before, I be in the Facebook groups. I love reading how others feel about each character and whatnot. And the overall about Morier was the homie, the good guy friend. A lot of people felt like they don't know how he made it this far.
Honestly, I think a lot of that is coming from the weight. Like we're not gonna act like there's not this body shaming that happens too. So I think that a lot of those comments that you probably did see was coming from ignorant people that was criticizing more of his weight.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've seen the weight comments, and then I've just seen the comments where they just feel like some people feel he doesn't have a romantic bone in his body. Because they just felt like the whole time, like the season, he's telling you some good stuff that you like to hear, but they felt like he was not taking initiative on the dates to kind of be more intimate with the women or to be more romantic with the women. Like he was just just saying the good word and stuff, but after that wasn't, trying to get that, I guess you'll call it intimate hug or, stuff like that. They felt like he was a little bit too homie-ish with his words, like you're the best friend giving your homegirl advice on her relationship.
I kind of sort of disagree. I feel like he was giving that, but I think what stopped him right in his tracks was that the women that he was going out on these dates with wasn't giving the energy back. Right. However, I will bring up Sierra though, because you could tell that Sierra is that person. And that was her thing with Morier. Like she felt like he wasn't pursuing her enough. But at that time, I just feel like he was already caught up in Jessica. I really think that he likes Jessica. I really do think that.
But she doesn't have the same.
But I don't know if she feels the same way on that level. Right. I really don't. And it's unfortunate. I think we all kind of just wanted to make fetch happen, but fetch is not happening. And that's just how I feel about it. And so let's not be shocked when they get to the reunion and they're asked the questions like, where are you guys today? And
it's going to be we're just still taking time to get to know each other, get to learn each other.
We're friends.
We're very good friends right now. We want to see how far this will go. It's not going to go far. Right. We want to see how far this is going to go. Right. That good old before you friends on a dude ordeal.
Right. And it's like, my thing is, why force it in that way? Y'all made it to the end, so why force it in that way?
And side note, by the way, folks, as y'all see, Kat did not make it.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't even going to speak on Kat. Because that was forced. Okay, so again, remember y'all, I told y'all they met the women's family members. So Morier sat with Kat's cousin. I don't even care about that conversation. It was kind of pointless. The cousin felt away because he was shorter than Kat. She also felt away when he brought up that he wants to move to Africa in about 10 years. Mm-hmm. She was like, oh, that's not gonna happen. It just and the fact that he has a son. She was like, oh, you can't play stepmommy to nobody. So, it just wasn't going to work. This was a pointless scene. They wanted Kat to last until the very end to add a little bit of oohs and ahs about who he's going to choose. We weren't falling for it.
And I thought it was funny, too, because Kat in her confessional after that little thing with her, I don't know if that was her friend or cousin. Who was it? I said it was a cousin. Her cousin? I remember she made a little comment like, I got a lot to think about. I got to make a decision. Girl, the decision's not up to you. You mean Morier gotta make a decision?
And even that, there was no decision. Production already told her, girl, we just need you to still be here to, just draw in some suspense so we can add it to the preview for the next episode. That's the only reason why she's there. She knows her assignment and she's sticking to her character. Okay, she knows what she's doing. So there's no need to even talk about Kat. But with Jessica and Morier, I really hope that. I don't even know what I hope.
That's a big hope. I think I can say I hope that they come to a conclusion quick. And it's not one of those things where this is just dragging along like, Jessica, you're not in there. They're
going to say that at the reunion.
And it's going to be a waste of time.
that they're just friends. Y'all, I hate that. I hate that for y'all. But whatever. Okay.
And let me add to that too. I know you talked about the whole body, the whole body thing. I wish in these dating shows that they would add more body types. It can be, like I said, shorter men, taller women. Let's add some variety. Like,
I feel like they have on Ready to Love. I feel like you have somebody like Janelle, who's full-figured woman.
she's not really full figured. She's half figured.
She's a full-figured woman.
Janelle's not that big.
Okay, and yes, in our world, right? Yes, but as far as TV land, yes, she is. She's not what? She's skinny? Like, we're not going to do that.
No, she's, like I said, she's a curvy woman. That's how I look at it.
Yes, she is.
But I'm talking about, like, it seems like, to be honest with you, with the Ready to Loves, like, could we really say this was, like, really the first season where we kind of seen, like I said, a kind of heavier set guy and a heavier set girl? Like, I kind of have seen that for a while in all these seasons.
No, I definitely think that they can do a better job at that. I don't disagree with you, but I'm not gonna also say that they haven't had any. I remember one year, I think this was a season that they did in Texas, where they had a full-figured woman on there. And everybody kept labeling her as the homie. Mm-hmm. I think she was the comedian. Yep, and it was like, she's just a really good friend. Like, she the homegirl. And I was like, yeah, that is like a lot of the stereotypes that we hear about full-figured women. They're good friends. And so I feel like even to place women in that type of situation is hurtful, because she was really there looking for love. And I think it's about, what are they asking in these interviews? Now,
what about, do you feel the same for heavier set men? Do they get the whole
that's what they did to Morier the whole time, to be quite honest. I truly do feel like, even with the comments that you saw on Facebook, I truly think that majority of the critique comes from his weight. Y'all gonna have to prove different to me. I'm not saying that he hasn't been taking the extra step with these women and really trying to show that romantic side. I'm not saying that he couldn't have done better in that area. Yeah. He should have. But at the same time, let's not sit here and act like his weight doesn't play a part in it.
No. Like I said, I've seen the comments about his weight, his height, and even people cracking jokes about how he be dressing. That too.
So
I've seen it all.
That too. And I feel we've seen it. How many seasons now have we seen men go to the freaking end that was giving homie vibes the entire time, but they look a particular way? And so I don't know. Or not pursuing the women. They've had complete assholes on this show, but somehow, some way, they just was able to survive multiple episodes. And I just think that
they're able to survive. They're able to survive because they had other characters who were showing their ass, so they had to go.
Well, I don't know. I think that Morier's weight just played a part in it, and I think that once we're able to be honest about that and how we really feel about body types, we can't really have this conversation for real. But I also want to point out there to everybody, I know that it's different. It's a different experience for full-figured black women than it is for full-figured black men. Just like with everything else. It's just different. I think that the constant critique and the constant criticism and devaluing is different for women than it is for men across the board. So, wow. Full-figured women versus full-figured men, when it comes to, just like regular, not regular size.
Are you talking about when it comes to dating, the dating scene?
Yes, so, I think it's completely different.
What?
And let me give you a prime example. I remember listening to an interview, and I don't even like this woman. I do not like her, but I am about to quote her. Lonnie Love, who is a full-figured celebrity. Mm-hmm. right? Black, dark-skinned woman, right? Talking about her experience dating versus a lot of these famous full-figured black men. Now, if we want to make the argument that okay, the women are only going to them or attracted to them about the money, okay, it's the same thing for the women that have the money. I think there's a lot of societal issues that play a part in why we get treated different, but we're not going to sit here and act like our body isn't constantly on display and up for critique versus men. They do not criticize men's bodies the way that they criticize ours, and that's just a fact.
Well, I hear more about men fetishizing for plus size women than I hear about women fetishizing for plus size men.
And that's your personal experience, babe. And I respect your personal experience, but we're not talking about a micro situation, which your experience would be micro, right? The masses, if we're talking about society as a whole, it's a different experience for women across the board, especially when you start to add weight.
Well, that's what we're sticking in.
Shade.
Yeah, we're sticking in that. We're sticking to weight.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Once you add all of those other layers, the intersectionality that black women that we go through, it's layered. It's different for men, and we can't. I feel like we should all agree on that. I mean, I thought we all had an understanding of that.
For me, I just feel, just when it comes to dating, and I'm talking about the average people, I'm not talking about these celebrities. I'm just talking about the average people. I feel like a lot of black men and black women just dating in our society kind of deal with the same struggle. I know there's different. I know they have some differences, but I just feel like...
Babe, you can't say that, because then that is you taking away from... Then that means that you do not agree that black women and black men have different experience. Let's take away the weight. Let's strip all of that.
Oh, yeah,
just being black men and black women.
Yeah, you
already know that we, considering the social scale, we're bottom. You already know that. So
I know they have differences.
It's not just differences. I'm talking about when it comes to value and how the world values us. It's different. And so when you can't say that, you can't separate, okay, famous or not, because even the ones with money and access to things are still being discriminated against and criticized constantly. I mean, hello, Lizzo. Like enough said. Versus somebody like a Biggie. For years, he's been looked at as like this sex symbol in hip hop. I mean, he's an icon. He's a legend. He's a hip hop legend. He's an icon. We recognize that. But at the same time, when he was alive and well, we're not going to sit here and pretend that there was a space for Biggie in the 90s. There wouldn't have been a space for somebody like a Lizzo. Literally showing up the same way she shows up now back then. Are you kidding me? But our bodies are constantly critiqued and dehumanized. It's completely different. And I don't even think... I think that we clearly need to have a whole nother conversation or a round table discussion, because I thought we all kind of agreed on the disparities even amongst our people, men and women, and then again adding all of those other intersections like weight, sexuality, and all these other things. It's different. Like, what?
A conversation for another day.
Yeah, like, woo, got me hot.
Conversation for another day.
All right, y'all. See what I'm talking about? This was supposed to be a quick video, but we just get to talking. Talk about everything else in the world. And I feel like that's what's about to happen right now with us talking about this last couple. And that is Aries and Phil.
So pretty much, I guess I would say within the past, I want to say about 4 to 5 episodes. Could have been. Aries has been voicing her key things for her next relationship. And her key things has been loyalty, and her another one has been stability. And let's call a thing a thing. When we say stability, we are talking about finances.
Yeah.
In which there's been many comments by Phil where he doesn't understand why that's such a big thing to her. and he feels it shouldn't be a big thing to her. And his displeasure of keep hearing about it to the point where he says it's getting annoying, he's getting tired of it, blasey blasey. But then kind of find out, honestly, we actually find out what Phil's profession is.
Y'all, he was serious last week when he said he was a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember? I thought I was drunk. I thought the alcohol was. I thought I was blaming on the alcohol because he was serious. Like, I wasn't imagining that.
So Phil said a couple episodes ago where he says he's pretty much a jack of all trades. He's trying all these different. He's tried all these different business ventures to the point where he's like, I gotta get a 9 to 5 now. Like, these things ain't work out. So then we go from 9 to 5 to I'm a comedian. And I remember Aries' mom asked him about, I think she asked the question, do those jokes make money or something like that? Mm-hmm. Or how long has he been doing it? And pretty much he's saying he's just started his career again. And while he was just having to sit down with her mom and was it her aunt?
No, I think that was her sister, right?
Her sister. He was sinking quicker than the Titanic, boy. It just was not good. It was like for them being the mom and the sister, and they know what Aries is looking for, and it could be have to do with her past guys too, her past relationships, where those men may not have offered, loyalty or stability. That's why it's so important to her. Phil should have known and we don't know about their conversations off camera. I'm pretty sure they talked about what happened in their past relationships. Phil should have known after hearing about, she didn't even need to say what's important to her. He should have picked up on that. And for him to be like, I just don't understand, or it's not that big of a deal, blah, 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 blah. It's kind of like, Phil, like, dude, you are too old for this. Like, how do you not understand why this would be important to her? And at the age we're at and the moves people are trying to make when it comes to building a family, unfortunately, finances is a big issue, That's why there's a lot of divorces in this country, a lot of breakups, finances. And Aries being somebody, and I believe she was like doing like software something. She was doing something with software. Yeah, but she has a pretty good job. So we go from that to I'll make you laugh. That's a big disparity. That's a pretty big disparity.
Y'all already know how I feel about this. I feel like for the past 2 episodes, I have went off on this topic because it bothers me. I will say this. I think that, first, Aries decided to choose herself. She did not decide to proceed with Phil. It was really sweet too, because I guess her father, who we found out a few episodes back, passed away. And he was a baseball player. And so he got her a baseball with a heart stitched inside of it. I thought that was very sweet. But that's what he brought to her, to ask if she was ready to love him, or whatever they say at the end of the show. And she still said no. And she said no. And in her speech of the reasoning why, she was just basically like, she don't know if she would respect him in their relationship, which I thought was very powerful to say. Mm-hmm. And so I know that there's probably a lot of you guys that have a lot of feelings about this one. Here's what I'm going to say. Let me first start off with Phil. Phil, I said what I said. I said what I said 2 episodes ago. It is what it is. I don't even know why you're on the effing show. Like, it makes no sense to me. My thing is this. If you are completely content with where you are at and what you are doing, then you go and you do that. But then trying to judge someone else because they want more, or they're expecting more, or they have questions about what you're doing, for you to be insulted by that, I feel like it's extremely childish. You are not 25. You are in your 40s with your own children. So it's fair for another grown person to ask you, what is your plan? What is your plan? You lucky that she ain't asked, can I see them W-2s? You lucky she ain't asked, can I see them check stubs? You lucky, because that will be what I'm on. What's that credit score like? Like, these are the questions that I feel like when you hit a particular age in this day and age, that's all we really got to talk about. That's all what we really got to talk about. I said it before. You have to prove to me that you belong here. If you want to come over here, you got to prove to me that you belong here. It's not just about the finances. I don't want nobody to get that twisted. But what we're not about to do is you living in my house, taking up my space in any way, taking up my time, and I'm working just as hard as I was before I met you, and you're bringing nothing. You're not contributing anything. Mr. Light Bill.
Mm-hmm.
If the only thing you can't afford is the light bill, you do not need to be dating. And that's just big facts. I don't care how nobody feels about that. If that's the only thing you can afford, your focus should be on elevating. Elevating for yourself. Getting yourself together. You being stable. I don't think anybody is interested to be taking care of another fully grown, able-bodied person right now. I just don't think anybody has time for that right now.
Not in this economy.
Not in this economy. Inflation is real.
Everywhere.
Okay? It is real. The groceries are getting higher. Okay? Things ain't what they used to be. And so my thing is, you got to change with the times. And at the end of the day, I'm not interested in taking care of another grown human being that's able-bodied.
Right.
Big facts.
Not at their age. Not
at their age.
You know,
no.
her thing is, if something happens to her, you gotta be able to pull the weight.
Right.
And the thing is,
she has too much on the line. She has children.
Yeah, she has 2 sons.
No.
You know, she wants a good, role model for her sons. It makes sense. Like I said, being as a guy watching, I don't blame Aries. I don't feel no type of way towards her. I felt like she's being real, to be honest with you. Like I said, some people don't want the truth. Because sometimes that truth makes you look at what you're doing.
I did not like that. And, anybody that want to sit here and make women feel bad, specifically black women feel bad for having standards at our grown age, y'all can really just go play in traffic, because nobody cares anymore. At this point, I am not going to argue the point anymore. It's just stupid. It's just dumb. It's very dumb, and I'm over it. I'm over it. Just say that you hate black women, and let's just move on. Let's move on.
But y'all, there were only 3 couples that made it.
Wait, we got to get to Aries. We talked about Phil.
Oh.
I had something to say about Aries real quick.
Go ahead.
Now, really quick, the only thing that I would really say about Aries, as much as I have my critique for Phil, and I do believe that she made the right decision, I will say when she had the conversation, or when they had the conversation with her mom, and I want to say that was her sister, I do believe it was a little alarming. I think it was the mother that brought up the question of, would you consult with her before making a decision? Was it her mom that asked that?
Oh, I just thought I remember somebody, and I thought this was with her. I thought somebody said, "Would your dad like this decision?"
No. Her mom or her sister brought up the question of, and they asked Phil, when making decisions for the house or for the family, would you consult with her?
I remember that.
And I don't know which one said it or asked the question. And Phil was like, well, any decision that I make, I will talk it over with her first. Like, I want her to be a part of the decision making. And that turned the mom and the sister off. And that was a red flag for me. Because I don't understand why that was alarming for y'all. That threw me off. And I think it was in that moment that I recognized that, this woman's husband recently passed away within the last couple of years, meaning Aries' dad. And I don't know what type of man Aries' dad was, but clearly he was one that was like old school, take care of the household type of thing. And the only thing that I would say about that, again, times have completely changed. And so I think that any idea of the man is the only one to make decisions in their household, I think is very outdated, old, and it's not progressive or moving the Black family forward in any way. Like, don't get it twisted. Just because I 100% believe that a man and a woman should financially be in financial, I guess, financially they're healthy individually, and then coming together and like creating more of a solid foundation together. That doesn't mean that I feel like the man is the only one to bring in the income, and that he is the only one to make decisions when it comes to the house. I don't believe that. I believe in partnership. Absolutely. If you're making a decision that's going to affect our household, we need to make that decision together. That's how all of that works for me. But the fact that it was a turnoff for them, it even made Aries be like, I know that was a red flag for them, but I don't feel that way. And I was glad that she cleaned that up, because that was just a bad look to me. That whole old school man a household thing is just, it's not, it doesn't age well. It doesn't work with where we're at now. It just doesn't. So I just had to throw that in there with that. I don't know how I 100% feel about her telling him when denying moving forward with him that she wouldn't respect him in the relationship.
She could have kept it to herself.
It's like,
She could have kept it to herself.
but maybe she wasn't lying. I mean, I get it. Maybe she wasn't lying, but I would just feel like, see, that's why I would never even put myself in that situation, because if I feel like I don't respect you as my partner, as a man, we don't even need to get to that point. So I think she could have just left it with like, just too many things up in the air, too much of a risk.
Yeah, she didn't need to say that.
But whatever, Aries and Phil, we gonna see where they at now at this reunion. Any predictions with them?
I think there's gonna be there's gonna be a little bad blood. And when I say that,
A lot of
I
bad
think
blood.
him towards her, of course. I feel he's gonna, voice his issues with the whole stability thing. But of course, they didn't rekindle or anything after the airing.
No, I don't think so either.
But one thing I waiting for reunion is I'm waiting to see people who got eliminated,
If
or
they hooked
people,
up.
if they hooked up, or people that did not choose at the end, if they hooked up with somebody that left early. That's one thing I'm waiting to see. I know there's gonna be the mouths jaw jacking. I know the arguing's gonna be there. It's a 2-part, correct?
Yes, it's 2-parter.
Yeah, so I want to see who took advantage after being eliminated to go contact some others who were eliminated.
We gonna see. But like I told y'all, with it being 2 parts, we'll see how Friday's episode goes, if we're gonna do a separate video or if we're gonna put the 2 parts together,
Right.
And do a review the following week.
Right.
So y'all just be on the lookout. Make sure that notification bell is hit so you can get notified if we do post a 2-part reunion. Okay? Okay.
So y'all, we definitely appreciate y'all for joining us on this ride of another episode of Reality Check TV. Like she said, y'all be sure to like and subscribe, hit the comments. We definitely love to hear what y'all think.
Yes.
Let us know. Y'all have a conversation. We will definitely reply.
Yes.
But once again, we have reunion part 1 Friday. We're here for it. Y'all watch. Any last parting words?
Nope.
Well, y'all be safe in these streets, and I want y'all to have a great rest of the week.
Bye.